Why do we want to calm down our nervous system? So recently I was chatting with someone and they said it seems like a lot of people's techniques are to calm ourselves down, and it just seems like just chill and relax, but the problem's still there. So what's the difference about what you're talking about and what other people are talking about? Today I want to share with you why the calming down is important. Now, when for example, if let's say our parents are yelling at us or shaming us or guilt tripping us, what happens during those times is that our body's nervous system will get activated. What does that really mean? It means that our body will go into either one of the four modes. Maybe you've heard about the fight or flight mode, but there are actually four. So the four are the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. What fight means is that when, let's say, your mom starts yelling at you, saying that you're doing something wrong, you should be doing it this way, then you get into an argumentative mode with your mom. You'll start fighting back against her to say, excuse me, this is not what I've been doing, etc. So this is fight mode, to fight with your mom. Flight means when your mom starts shaming you or saying something to you, you turn and leave the house. I don't care what she says. I've had it. I'm leaving the house. So that's flight mode. Freeze mode is what I did a lot. Freeze mode is I would just sit there and not do anything. Basically, my mom would start yelling at me, criticizing me, and I would just be sitting there on the sofa and I would tune her out, but I wouldn't do anything. Because my belief was that if, let's say, I speak back, then my mom's going to overpower me. If I walk out, she will think that I'm disrespectful and she will yell at me some more. So I just stay there and do nothing. Fawn mode is, let's say your mom starts yelling at you, saying how ungrateful you are, why are you always doing like this, and then you'll be like, oh mom, yeah, I'm so sorry, I don't mean it that way, next time I won't do it again, and I'll do this, whatever you ask of me. That's fawn mode. So whenever we get into someone doing something to us that our body feels still we're under attack, our nervous system will get activated, and we will go into one of these four modes. We could go into any of these four modes depending on the situation, but mostly we have one that we tend to do. Now, let's say you go into a video about the 3 techniques to reduce your stress and anxiety, and it can be used for anything. For example, if let's say you feel guilty, let's say you feel scared, let's say you feel pain, you can actually use that to calm down your nervous system. Why we're doing this? Our brains have different parts. Our prefrontal cortex is the part that is right in the front of our brain, and it helps us think and plan and be logical. But what happens is when we are under attack or when our body feels that we are not safe, it shuts down. It literally shuts down and we cannot think of anything. We feel like we're at a loss. We are like a trapped animal, or we're just fighting for our lives. Like, we literally cannot think through any situations to maybe we could get out, but really what happens is either we respond back or react to whatever that is thrown at us, that we cannot logically work through the problem. So when we are in activation mode, we have to use some sort of way to calm our nervous system down. And that is really important, because once we have calmed down our nervous system, then our prefrontal cortex will have a chance to come back online to think through the situation. Okay, well, my mom is yelling at me. What's going on? Do you know what? She just really wants her way, and right now I cannot deal with it, so I'm going to, and then you can think about what exactly you want to do. But you can literally not solve that problem until the prefrontal cortex gets back online. For some people, and I get it, because I come across a lot of people who are younger still, and they're still stuck at home. They may not have saved enough money where they can actually get out of the house. And so they're like, well, I'm still here. The problem is still here. I don't want to just chill. And this is why I tell them, you're not chilling. You're calming yourself down to separate yourself from your parents so that you can actually see for yourself that your reaction can be separate from your parents. Your parents can be yelling, screaming, shaming you, or walking out of you, and you can still stay calm enough to figure out what is your next step. Now, the next step may not come necessarily right away, because you know what? If you need to find a job and save enough money to move out, it may take you a few years. It sucks. It's not a immediate solution. But when you have calmed yourself down enough, or if let's say it is so painful for you, and I also share how to process your emotions, but when let's say you have cried, you have talked to yourself, and you have processed your emotion, and you'll be like, hey, you know what, Claudia? I've had it. I've had it being stuck in this situation. What do I want to do next? And then I can sit myself down to make a plan. A 5-year plan, a 3-year plan, a 1-year plan, a 1-month plan, a 1-week plan, a 1-day plan. Break it down into small pieces so then you can work toward that goal. Visualize it to see what you can do next. And if you don't calm yourself down enough, that 5-year goal is not going to form in your head, because when your nervous system is so activated, sometimes what happens is like, I'm freaking stuck here. I freaking hate my life. I cannot deal with it. What am I gonna do? It's like, no matter what I do, it's not gonna work, so why bother? Why don't I just unalive myself, right? All of these things start spiraling down. And having those thoughts is very normal. And at the same time, if we can calm ourselves down enough, process our emotions enough, then we can say, you know what, my life is within my own control. I can make it happen. And then I'm going to do whatever it takes to get myself out of here. And that's the main reason why we want to use those tools to calm our nervous systems down. It's not to chill. The problem is still there. The problem is a problem. We're not here to pretend the problem is not there. It's so that we can separate ourselves from the problem to say, you know what, I am freaking in this situation right now, and I need a solution that I can plan for. And so that is why we're doing this work. So, and I get it, sometimes when we're in a situation for long enough, it seems like there is no other way out, but I want you to know there is a way out. It may take some time, it may take some energy, it may take a lot of you doing this work, and to face the explosions again and again and again before anything can actually happen. And in the meantime, this is what we're going to do. So if you have any questions, or if you're uncertain about anything, please ask me. Please reach out to me to say, hey, what's the difference between this and that? What's the benefit of something? Why are we doing this? Why did you say this? I'm here to clarify things so that I can help you with understanding why we do what we do, so that you'll be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense, and I really want this for myself. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to get myself out. All right? So I know this is the hardest part. This is the hardest part because within those few years that you're stuck at home, it just feels like it's you in hell. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to not lie about it. It is the truth. And I see you, I feel you, and I understand. It is the most difficult part of doing this work. And I want you to know that you're not alone. And let's do it together. As I said, if you have any questions, or if there's anything that you don't understand, or how to go about doing it, reach out to me and I can share some tips with you. Okay? That's all I have for today. Until next time.